triangulation. And I just had a very strange synchronicity related to the theme of triangulation, which I'll share certainly by the end of this recording. Triangulate your position. What do your mind, emotions, and intuition tell you about where you are with your question, choice, or relationship? The time to go forward is when you get the inner yes from all your centers. Until you do, learn to endure ambiguity and ambivalence rather than make a premature decision. From the I Ching point of view, the time to go forward with any major choice is when a deep inner knowing, a gnosis, tells you it is time. The self, what Jung called the self, the totality of all psychic structures and global intuition, are best qualified to make such choices. The mind and ego can be involved, but should not be the rulers of the process because it is above their level of competence. When the mind-ego alliance is in charge of decisions, you tend to get that ping-pong game sort of dialogue in your head. But what about this? But what about that? But what if this happens? Etc. In the hierarchy of psychic structures, the self is the ruler, and the mind and ego are like the ministers, the cabinet members or facilitators. Once you've made your choice, the mind and ego are invaluable in implementing it. Suppose you are still in doubt about a decision. In that case, the I Ching advice is to hold back. Don't go until you know. In most cases, you're better off maintaining the present position until you are sure. A classic illustration of these principles involves romantic relationships. A mind and ego-dominated person tells himself, well, I have to be going out with someone. What about this person? What about that person? A merchant mind kicks in, like someone anxiously scanning personal ads, dating websites, as if they were evaluating merchandise. Well, this one likes candlelit dinners, but this one is taller, but this one seems more reliable, but this one... From my point of view, the default position for the conscious person is solitude, often the most powerful place to be, but with the willingness to come forward into a relationship, ready to give it all the incredible energy and attention it is going to take when called to do so from the depths of one's being. You wait for soulmates and spiritual allies and recognize that even these deeper relationships will likely have problematic phases and take a lot of care and resources. You don't go forward into a random relationship out of the lonely restlessness of the social ego that thinks it has to be going out with someone, which is addicted to social matrix noise and anxious to fill space with random people and small talk with same. You may miss out on the soulful relationships by endlessly distracting yourself with superficial relationships. So this is an example of an area where we might fail to triangulate. It is the same with career choices, relocations, and big plans. The ego loves decisive action, hates to wait in ambiguity and ambivalence, and wants sweeping changes that will supposedly resolve everything. One of the greatest assets of a mature person is the ability to be at rest with ambiguity and ambivalence. A little mind can't stay open to uncertainty and reaches for a premature closure, becoming a true believer in something, a religion, or a secular fundamentalism. Consider this an auspicious time to triangulate your present position before acting. So that just happened like the minute before I was going to record this. An email came in. Well, let me give you some background. And it's related to this website. So it might be good for you to know anyway. But I've been doing estate planning. Any of us could drop dead at any moment, and I'm 66 years old, though in excellent health. But I don't have children, dependents, so my main child is this website and my other creative work that I want to continue past, if possible, past my incarnation. So I created an unusual, it's still in process, trust, Zap Oracle Trust, that will keep the website going um, in perpetuity. And my whole creative career has operated a six-figure loss. So it's about how to fund that because, when you do a website this complex, the internet is a moving target. Things need to constantly be updated and, we need new versions of PHP and whatever. So it does take constant maintenance as a minimum to just keep this going. And so I was working with an estate firm on that, but then I decided, well, let me get a tax advisor and see what they think about how I would set this up. And they had some suggestions that changing things. And then I also there's a wealth management company that's our distant relatives, and I what came in was an email from them about after they reviewed the trust and they thought it had too much ambiguity. So basically, what happened with that email was that I had just triangulated my position with these three different organizations: a tax company, the estate firm at the center, and now this wealth management company acting as financial advisors. And that's a very good thing because in setting up a complex or unconventional kind of trust that's to further a website, um, having somebody else that can red team it, in other words, look for weaknesses and ambiguities that could cause problems later, is a very necessary thing. So triangulation, I guess that synchronicity confirms how important it is to triangulate. And another version of that is I would do that when I was editing my 45-year life project, Parallel Journeys. I really wanted to get it right after 45 years of struggle. You can read it free on the website or get it on Amazon as an Audible, a Kindle, or a physical book. When I would often have the experience, and any writer needs to be aware of this, where one editor would really come down harder on something, and where I didn't think it was warranted. So I would triangulate. I had multiple people helping me, and if three of them all said that hey, this dialogue sucks, then I'm like, then it almost certainly sucks, and I need to do something about it. So the rule is with writing, if it's just one editor and the writer in disagreement, the writer wins. But if there's two editors who all both agree on something, and if there's three and the writer disagrees, well, then the editor should probably win. So that's triangulation. If you've got a question about a relationship or something going on in your life, and three trusted friends and allies all say the same thing, even if you don't believe them, where they're telling you, hey, this person you're trusting is pretty sketchy, and you're the odd man out, and three trusted advisors are telling you the same thing, then it's probably time to take what they're saying really seriously. Same with getting medical opinions and this kind of thing. Triangulate intrapsychically in the way that's talked about in this card with thinking, feeling, and intuition, but sometimes also triangulate in the case of the synchronicity, with organizations and with advisors, like with big medical decisions. So to paraphrase the carpentry principle, let's see if I can do that in my mind right now. Triangulate first, cut once.